I'm Johnny Smith.
I'm Richard Porter.
And this is Smith & Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars and many other things. Hey.
Hey, guys, hey.
Do you remember ages ago, we went through a phase of talking about bobtailing everything? Or, I don't know why, we might have gone down a internet research wormhole of people bobtailing vehicles that inappropriately.
Well, I always associate bobtailing with Land Rovers and particularly like original
Wands.
Discoveries.
Yeah,
Discovery Wands. Not the most overhangy car in the first place, not compared to a Discovery 2, for example, but still people absolutely slice them back till there's no rear overhang, don't they, for extreme off-roading.
Yes, what's the term? It's the not the incline and the approach angle and departure angle.
Yeah, departure angle is your critical.
What's your favourite departure angle when you're leaving the house for yourself?
I tend to go for about 94 degrees.
So what is that hard on the hips? Do you have to practice, or certain shoes, do they help?
How are you measuring this angle? Because I'm thinking it's sort of my angle to the ground.
Yeah, no, your angle to the ground, and maybe, like as if...
a 180, would it be a 180 or 45? 45, but that would mean you'd sort of be lying on your back, slithering out of the front door like a snake.
Do you ever sort of side saddle it out of the house? You're like crab walking, or as if you're in West Side Story and you're kind of clicking your fingers and approaching someone in a strange way.
No, but I've got to pop out in a bit, and now you've mentioned it, I might just walk down the street and going sideways. I have to
shimmy slightly side-bodied down the side of a car in the carport when I go out the door. So
yeah,
almost certainly I'm doing that stupid thing which us humans seem to do, where you try and carry everything to the car in one hit.
Yes.
Or from the car to the house in one hit, when really it's an easy two journey, but you think, no, I'll just do it in one, it'll be fine. And it involves things like hot liquid as well.
Oh, yes.
And so I have to do a side shimmy with usually one of my arms fully outstretched in a sort of shit strongman motion, holding something quite weighty and trying not to damage the wing mirror of a car that I cherish. And the more I think about it now that I've just said it out loud, the more stupid it is, because I just think, why don't you just do two really quick? I don't live in a stately home where walking to the car takes 5 minutes.
I know, even if your car was out on the street, it's not exactly the long and winding road to get there. So
No.
2 trips would, in fact, be less stressful.
Yeah, it would. It absolutely would.
The perfect one for this is that for some reason you've got an item of clothing on a hanger, probably that you've freshly ironed because you need to wear something smart later.
Yes.
Hot liquid.
Yes.
A laptop is always good, or something that would be damaged by dropping it in a bad way.
Fragile electronics, check.
Fragile electronics, always good. But yeah, the iron shirt, I think, always just adds a frisson of, oh no, it's come off the hanger and fallen into a puddle.
I've done that when we were going to an event or we were doing a job of some sort, you and I'd ironed a couple of shirts and I couldn't decide which one to wear. One of them was white. And I went out to the car and lifted up the boot, and it was winter or gloomy weather, and I went to lay the shirt across the back, and it swept it over the threshold, which was really muddy from motorway work, and basically instantly destroyed the shirt. So I just took it off the hanger and just flung it back in the house and just muttered something.
Was this like when we went to Goodwood Festival of Speed, and I think I've already explained that that was the week that I'd had my tattoo done, and had been told, don't expose a new tattoo to sunlight, or to so direct sunlight, while it's still healing. So I had to spend the whole of the boiling hot Goodwood Festival of Speed weekend wearing long sleeves.
Yeah.
And I couldn't decide before I left home which long-sleeved items I wanted, so I basically ironed every shirt that I own, and then hung them all in the back of my Land Rover. My Land Rover just sort of looked like a mobile charity shop. And in the end, I didn't wear even half of the shirts that I'd bought, and this was ironed as well. But I did manage not to sort of swipe them all through a slurry pit by accident on the way to the car.
Good, or drop kicking them into a pit. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, another one. Actually, a good one to increase the peril. So delicate electronics, freshly ironed shirt on a hanger, not buttoned up so it can fall off, hot liquid.
Yeah.
And then a spare pair of shoes you've decided to take, which you've hooked onto 2 fingers.
Yes. So, in other words, your hand is now sheathed in shoe.
But your fingers, even at their hookiest, are not very good at just sort of sitting in the back, in the heel part of a shoe. So one of the shoes could just fall off at any point, and when it does, you'll make a brief and feeble attempt to stop it and then drop everything else that you're carrying.
It's really annoying, isn't it?
Just make 2 trips to the car.
Everybody, please. I'm sure we're not the only people.
This is like
we all just.
Can we have a public information film?
A single trip to the car amnesty. Everyone just goes, don't even think about it. It's always 2. Even if it's just, you've got a pencil, a cup of coffee, and a pack of chewing gum. Just do 2 trips. Just do 2 trips. Just take the coffee separately. Just make life easier for yourself.
Yeah. It's so much more relaxing.
I wanted to start this podcast actually talking about Julio Iglesias.
Of course.
Because...
What's he done now?
Well, as far as I know, he's still alive. But we have talked about him once maybe on the podcast in all these years, because there's that funny photograph that appears on Instagram of him on a private jet with a bucket of KFC.
Is that?
It still makes me laugh. Yeah.
Because I can sort of picture that, but in my head I thought that was Diego Maradona.
Oh, well, it may be...
Or is that a bucket of cocaine in his case?
Well, it might have been. He was busy finishing the decoration of a birthday cake. It was his favourite kind of cake, the cocaine cake. You got Julio Iglesias, on a private plane with some tobacco-tinted aviators and a vest.
Yes, there we go. He's wearing a vest. Of course he is.
Of course he's wearing a vest. But so there's a reason why I'm bringing this up on the Smith and Stiff podcast, is because I didn't realise that he very nearly died in a car accident way before he was a professional singer. And that changed the course of his career. So I won't go into all the detail because, it's this is the Smith and Stiff podcast. We don't give you that much detail. But so he's born in 1943 and he desperately wanted to be a pro footballer, and it looked like he was going to do it. And I think he was a goalie for Madrid's... he was at the university in Madrid and he became a goalie. He was looking very good. But he had a car accident and was paralysed for at least 2 years. It might have even been 3 years.
Bloody hell.
Before making a full recovery. So he couldn't then pursue professional sport. And one of the nurses who was helping him with his physio and everything suggested he try to do something else like music. And either the nurse or someone in his family bought him a guitar.
Oh.
And he decided to sit there and play guitar and write music, and thus started singing. So there we go. But
I did not know that. Very interesting.
I didn't know this. And the reason why I've brought it up is because if you look up Julio Iglesias, there's a couple of pictures of him lying across various cars. But none of the ones are what he had his near-death experience in it, where he compressed a nerve in his spine. So he was paralysed from the chest down. So it was really serious, bedridden.
Yeah, jeez.
But I want to know, and maybe we've got very intelligent listeners, you know that, Rich. I'm thinking somebody out there can maybe tell us what car Julio Iglesias had the crash in, because I don't know what it was when he was 19. And
gosh.
Yeah, I know it's a bit dark, but I like research. Do you like research? And
yes. Sorry, I'm mesmerised by this picture that I've looked up of him on the jet with the now. Was this that somebody has noted?
Yes.
That he is in fact washing down his bucket of chicken with a bottle of Lafite Rothschild. So
seriously,
it's not mouthwash. He's got a nice bottle of red on the go.
Yeah.
There is also a tortilla on the table, which
you've gone into more detail than me.
Weird. But then behind him, there's those little boards that's sort of supposed to show the altitude and speed of the jet. There's nothing on it, which leads me to think the jet is on the ground. And I'm starting to wonder if this is all just a photo shoot for KFC, but that would be weird. Can't work it out. And there is also, I guess from the same day, the same flight, another picture of Julio Iglesias wearing the same outfit, but he's sitting on the sort of sofa bit of the jet and he's reading an atlas.
What? He's reading an atlas?
Well, he's certainly posing with an atlas. It's a big, I think it's an atlas, big book open. Now, we've talked before about how basically vests don't suit many men at all.
I think that's fair.
And I'm going to say Julio is getting away with this vest.
Well,
he's got the olive skin. He's got that sort of natural, slender, healthy physique that you often get from diets with a lot of olive oil in them. And
he's got great
hair. He's got a yacht face. He's got the tobacco tinted sunglasses. He's got the good hair.
Yeah,
I think he's holding this together. So you say, when was he born? 1943.
Yeah, so he's older than my dad by 5 years.
This photo apparently was taken in 1986, it says. So he is 43 years old, and he is looking fucking good on it.
Even though he's eating 17 kilos of chicken.
I don't think he's eating the KFC.
No.
I think he's having the omelette and the wine, and that'll keep him going until they land. Not to bring the mood down, but can we just, since we were talking about famous people and car accidents, can we just send warm thoughts to Giorgetto Giugiaro, the legendary designer, who has recently been in a car accident on Sardinia. All indications are he's going to be okay. What's interesting about this is the car that he was driving. Apparently, he's had a holiday home on Sardinia since the late 70s.
Oh, what a place. What a place.
I know, around Costa Smeralda as well, so the really primo bit of that island. And so Giugiaro was there at his holiday house, and he was driving a current-shaped Land Rover Defender.
Really?
Yeah, so the reports say that the car seems to have gone straight on at a hairpin bend, of which there are many in Sardinia, we know, and then it's rolled down the hillside.
Yeah, and big drops.
Big drops. Now, Giugiaro, in fact, turns 87 this very week, so he is not a young man, but no. His family have said that he's okay. The injuries were not as bad as they first feared.
Yep. And
he should be released from hospital very soon, if not already. So, just want to say, because that could have been a lot worse. And, of course, Giugiaro, for anyone who loves cars, is an absolute stone-cold legend. So I hope he gets well soon.
We need to send a big Smith and Sniff get well soon on that side of things to him.
Yeah.
What a hero. But obviously going quickly back to Julio Iglesias.
Of course. Sorry, yes.
He obviously didn't get put off by nearly losing his life in a car, because although I don't know what car he injured himself in, there's pictures all over the internet of him wollarding on various cars. There's a pre-war Mercedes where he's down on one knee, showing off his extremely tanned face and white teeth. There's one of him sitting on the bonnet wearing a tuxedo on it would be an 80s Rolls Royce. There's one of him stood next to a Mercedes SL with a clip-on hardtop on it. So we need, and also even a Testarossa. He's even sort of laying across the front wing, looking very lovingly at a Testarossa.
I would be disappointed if Julio Iglesias had not had a Testarossa.
Well, I feel like in the next couple of podcasts, we need to assemble the ultimate list of Julio Iglesias's vehicles, including the one that hurt him. But what has he had? Because I think he's had a hell of a suite of machinery. There's even that shot of him outside. Have you seen the shot of him outside the private jet?
No.
So the steps are down, Rich, okay?
Yeah.
And he is, I'm just going to have to zoom in just to check on the cut of the trouser. He is stood in front of the jet wearing all white. Bear in mind how tanned he is. All white, quite a fitted 80s sweatshirt and tapered crisp white trousers with extra pockets and white, I think they're espadrilles.
Oh, wow.
You can only imagine how majestic he looks with the fold-down stairs of the private jet and the tobacco-tinted aviateurs.
I do.
So good. So
I do wonder if he would pop open a bottle of red on that flight, or if the white clothes would preclude that, and he might just go for a crisp white of some kind.
Oh shit! The sweatshirt's cable knit. Just notice it's not. It's actually knitted. It's a cable knitted. I'll forward you this picture. We'll put it on for our patrons. It's an exceptional image.
Do you think that Julio Iglesias is the kind of guy who would wear a cable knit sweater when it's well into the 20s temperature wise, and he still wouldn't break sweat?
He's that guy. He is that guy. And then there'll be other days slightly overcast when he'll have a completely open shirt and we're just not sure.
Yes, he is master of his own thermostat. He can work with any temperature if the clothing is simply what he wants to wear at that point.
What was the name of that strange guy who pulls up on Instagram outside places with the supercar who's got a very yachty face?
Oh,
Zeus.
Zeus? Yeah.
I think Zeus has modelled himself on the way that Iglesias lived his life in the 80s.
I completely agree, and I think that rather exposes Zeus as a dilettante, because Iglesias exposes him as trying too hard.
Totally.
Julio Iglesias is not trying. He's just being Julio Iglesias. I've just seen this picture of him. He's reclining in a slightly uncomfortable looking way.
On the Testarossa, or is it?
No, he's on a kind of sun lounger. It might just be a white towel on a concrete platform above what I presume is his own swimming pool, which is full of ladies.
Oh, I've seen that picture. There was at least 6 of them.
He's wearing a blue shirt. It may be linen. I can't really tell, but it certainly looks nice and loose and comfortable. But then white trousers again there. Which is a bold choice, I think, for anyone really, because I guarantee if I bought a pair of white trousers, I would immediately sit in some seagull shit or something.
You'd whip up a quick salad and you throw balsamic vinegar right down the crotch area.
Yeah, or I'd just turn around and one of my children would just be approaching with a glass of Vimto for some reason, and that would be the end of the white trousering.
So we'll start assembling a definitive Iglesias car list.
The Julio automotive hit list. Yeah, okay, let's do that.
Julio's Motors, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
We have to be a little careful here, because a few listeners have pointed out in the past that quite often when we talk about a celebrity, then they die very shortly afterwards. Now, we do not want this of Julio Iglesias. No. So let's just tread carefully.
No, we don't want that. So last week I did a barn find, and I won't tell you the car because it's not coming out yet. But it was in a real barn, in a real farmyard. And I put on our Instagram the fact that next to the car, I found several stationary engines and a mountain bike which had suspension and quite a rusty frame. And it also had sort of vines growing around it because it had been there for so long. So I'm going to say it was a bit of a no-name full suspension mountain bike. Then this week, I see a certain Max Verstappen has done quite a lot of fun and japes on social media and videos and things with our friend Chris Harris.
Yeah, I saw this.
And can you do me a favour, Rich? Just going to do a quick experiment. Can you bring up a picture of him on your computer? A picture of Max Verstappen, please. Max
Verstappen. Yeah, any picture?
Yeah, specifically so you get a good shot of his face.
All right. Yep. There we go. There he is.
Right. Now you're staring at him, yeah? Staring at his face.
Sort of. Yep.
So imagine now that person wearing military cargo trousers, smoking a roll-up, There's a lighter on a necklace on probably a leather shoelace. And he can wheelie a mountain bike as long as he wants to. And he's also, for some reason, got a six-pack despite having a terrible diet.
Max Verstappen is a no-name full suspension mountain bike guy.
think he's a European in disguise. A European.
Euro.
He's a Euro no-name full suspension mountain bike guy.
Well,
he's got the face. He's got that face.
I see what you mean. I mean, he's not the full Mackenzie Crook.
No,
but he definitely has got a. Yeah, I see it. I see it. He's got a. How do we describe it? What I was going to do is put no name full suspension mountain bike guy into Google Translate and see what it says it would be in Dutch. Oh dear. Okay, well, this is Google Translate. We have a load of Dutch listeners. I'm going to deeply offend them by trying to pronounce what this has come up with, but then invite them perhaps to send the correct translation. Onbekend full suspension mountain bike man.
Is that true?
Think that's right. Well, should we break this into parts? No name. Oh, no, you see, I put no name with a hyphen in it, and apparently in Dutch that's naamloos. Sorry, Dutch listeners. Right, full suspension. Oh, how do you do? Right, Volledige, Volledig Vering. The Netherlands weeps. Full suspension. Okay, we're just going to stop this. It's offensive. But mountain bike. What is mountain biking? Oh, see, mountain bike apparently in Dutch is just mountain bike, but with no space between the words.
Is that true?
No, I just don't know because it's just it could all be nonsense. And guy, there seems to be lots of options here. Dutch listeners, if you could give us an accurate translation of no name full suspension mountain bike guy in Dutch with ideally a pronunciation guide, that would be smashing.
I think someone could help us there. He wrote to us last week, a chap called Michael Oudman, who is from the Netherlands. And he said, guys, he probably said it like guys, but I'm going to just say, hi guys. I've got two things to quickly point out to you. While you were singing the Pagani song to Never Ending Story, did you realise that Never Ending Story is actually produced by supercar maker man Giorgio Moroder off of Cesetta Moroder V16T fame?
Bloody hell, what a brilliant connection. Missed that.
Exactly, and well done, Michael, because I hadn't remembered that either. But, crucially, he's put, also, in Dutch, we say, and I'm probably going to murder this term because it's in Dutch, it says, we say, eerlijk gezegd, which is our take on to be fair. And it's spelt, just for the purposes of people listening, ERLIJK space GEZEGD. So that is the Dutch to be fair.
Fascinating. And we've had quite a few of these, but unfortunately, I when I was reading them, I should have put them in a separate folder so they were easily accessed. I'll do it for another time. But yeah, we've had some examples of Dutch, Polish, I think Czech, conversational tics.
Love it. I love hearing
this. Which is excellent.
We've had some good ones. Michael, thank you. He's got his own podcast, so he's just put, I think it's called Young Timers DE Podcast.nl. So that's cool. Thanks for listening, Michael.
So would this be about sort of modern classic cars?
Young Timers the podcast. I've just looked it up. Looks great. I think there's a picture of a Series 1 Twingo in the animation at the beginning. So we're talking 90s and noughties, aren't we? I think.
Still have this sort of low level, well, not low level, mid level craving for a Mark 1 Twingo.
Would you rather be gifted a dentless Twingo, or you could go for a long weekend out to see Julio Iglesias? He'll send his jet over. And although Julio Iglesias, he's an older guy now, he's still got it, and he's still quite an active man.
He is, you said he's born in 43, so he is 82 years old, right?
Yes. But fit and Mediterranean.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
So he'd be like, Richard, I've heard that you're into your cars. Well, I've still got, I think, somewhere, long pause, a Bentley Turbo R. Should we go and find it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's down there in the old town.
Gosh. Here, help me push the Berlinetta Boxer out of the way. I thought I traded this in for a Testarossa. I've forgotten I'd got it.
Yes.
He'll say. Where does he live? Do you think Julio Iglesias... I bet he's got houses all over the world, hasn't he? But I wonder if he lives back in Spain or if he's, sort of decamped to Miami or somewhere.
I feel like he's Portugal.
Oh, what? But he's Spanish. Why would he go to Portugal?
I don't know. Tax reasons, perhaps.
Disloyal.
Would it, though? I'm not sure. I think he's back he is in the motherland. I think he probably is in Spain.
So why would you not? It's nice there. Why would you not have a massive house just sort of... I don't know. I mean, I bet he's got an amazing apartment in Madrid.
Amazing apartment in Madrid. He will definitely have a watercraft of some sort. Whether it'll have a motor or not, I don't know. He might be a sailman. I don't know.
Oh, I bet he's a sailman. All that white clothing, he's definitely a sailman.
Yeah, he will be, won't he?
Oh,
he will.
That you see now.
But he has the ability of even looking cool and effortless and suave when he's on the little tender boat to take him out to his yacht, which will be a slightly floppy, underinflated rib with a smoky two-stroke clip-on outboard. And even he will still look really, really cool in that, whereas you and I would look like we're about to have a horrible accident and we'd be a bit rigid with panic. But he won't.
Hold the front page, my friend. New information. Iglesias info just in. If this is accurate, he divorced his first wife, the Filipino journalist and television host Maria Isabel Preslea Arrastia. Sorry about the pronunciation there. They had 3 children, including Enrique Iglesias. And,
yes, of course.
And then divorced in 1979.
Long time ago.
So he went on to have a relationship with the Dutch model Miranda Rinsberger. Again, I'm so sorry, Dutch people, that's probably not right. She was 22 years younger than him. They got married in 2010 and had 5 children.
Wow, okay.
Now, hang on a sec.
Hang on, in 2010?
If they didn't start having children until 2010, he was 60... No, wait, hang on. Yeah, 67.
My gosh.
So he kicked off another round of children at the age of 67. But here's the bit that is important. It says, this claims, he lives with his family in the Dominican Republic, where he owns several hotel complexes.
Several hotel complexes? Okay.
I know.
Okay.
So not just several hotels, several hotel complexes. That's... well, anyway, he also speaks Spanish, English, French, Italian and Portuguese. So he could live in Portugal if he wanted to and be able to get a plumber out.
The car that he was on his knees posing next to, I think, is a pre-war Mercedes SSK. I don't know whether it's his. But look, enough Iglesias chat.
We've got really bogged down in the Iglesias chat.
I don't know.
Too much.
I'm sorry, guys. Just really sorry. I wanted to talk about our friends at Pistonheads, actually, because in the not too distant future, 9th of August to be precise, it's their annual service show, which is on at Bicester Motion.
Well, that's this Saturday if you're listening to this show when it comes out on Monday.
Yeah, so we're going to be there, unfortunately, for them. And we're going to be there doing a live one of these chats. Hopefully we'll rein in the Julio Iglesias chat, but we'll see.
Let's agree there'll be little to no Julio Iglesias chat, if we can help it.
But we're going to be there, and we're going to do a podcast. We're going to have a chit-chat and maybe do some questions and answers, amongst lots of other things. And we were there. I was there last year, and the car selection was supreme. So if you'd like to go, you can go onto the Pistonheads website and there is a pull-down menu for events. I suggest you do that, but we'll also give you a discount voucher, which is this. It's a little code, SAS10. Nothing to do with Secret Service or people that kind of like get helicoptered in to do, strategic murders. Nothing like that. It stands for Smith & Sniff. And you get 10% off, and it'd be great to see you there. Richard, there's a chance that Richard will be wearing some retro clothing.
Oh, I haven't made a bid on that yet.
No, but maybe you should make a bid on that. If you don't know what we're talking about, you might need to listen to our Otter Sot sister podcast where we try and answer
from
questions.
last Friday, yes. Okay, but yes, so Pistonheads Annual Service, Bicester Motion. I've never been. I know you have, and you said it's great. So I'm looking forward to this.
It was really good because, of course, you're at Bicester Heritage, which is an amazing venue anyway. But also, I think because of the Pistonhead crowd, there's a real variety of machinery. And I like that about it. And lots of people wanted to come up and say hi. So that was
we'll be milling around all day and then recording a podcast on stage at 12 o'clock.
That won't be the highlight of the day at all. Yes, we're 12 till 1:30 on stage, I think. So we've got half an hour of sort of like questions and answers. So if anyone's got any questions,
misplaced confidence.
I'm going to finish the Inglesias chat by just saying that I'd actually like to find an outfit that matches the all white one in front of the private jet. Just for one day, I'd like to wear everything crisp white with a good tag.
Well, that one day could be Saturday, August the 9th at the Pistonheads Annual Service, could it not? There's still time. Yeah, shops are open.
That is true. Shall I turn up in the Eagle Quest, which is obviously a jet black car?
Well, the contrast, imagine. So perfect.
I'd get out with and just pull down my tobacco tints. I do everything in slow motion just because I thought that might have more effect.
Yeah.
And I'd have those tiny
I could knock up some, just a sort of loop of synthwave for you.
Oh, yeah.
Or that Sunglasses Kid album. Just play that Sunglasses Kid album. It's perfect.
Yes, thank you. That Sunglasses Kid album is fantastic. It's a great backing track for doing just housework, I find.
All white clothing, slow motion stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Talking of housework, or just work in general, we've referred to trackwork before, haven't we?
We have,
cast. Well, I've got news for you.
Go on.
Someone got in there first. Because there is an actual limited company based in Doncaster who specialise in railway infrastructure called Trackwork.
Oh.
And a few listeners have photographed vans on the motorway here in England with just Trackwork written across the back, which I've shared on Instagram because it's fun. But it turns out, they've been in the game since 1976. To become one of the UK's leading providers of multidiscipline engineering services to the rail network. So when we talk about Trackwork, it's not the same as their Trackwork.
Well, hang on. I mean, you've already given them a plug, but it feels like they should be sponsoring this podcast because there's what business people would call a synergy there, surely.
I think they should do that. We both
use the word Trackwork.
Yeah, when we talk about Trackwork, obviously we're referring to helmsmanship around the Green Hell or Cadwell Park. Or even an industrial estate. So we're not talking about railway infrastructure at all. But
no.
But if you want us to track work, we can.
Yeah, it's always worth.
We can even talk about signalling and rail projects if you want us to.
We could always invite Francis Bourgeois to pop over and give us the benefit of his great knowledge.
Oh, completely.
Of the railways.
You're absolutely right there. That's a very, very, very... Yeah, that's a very good point.
I was going to just briefly mention something that I saw on the Autocar website last week. A story by Matt Pryor out of the Autocar podcast. Hello, Matt. I know that he listens.
Sweet guy.
Sweet guy. And he has driven a Caterham 7 development car with a new engine they're going to be using, which is from HORSE.
What?
And I don't think we've ever mentioned HORSE, but this is this joint venture between Renault and Geely.
Oh, I think you've mentioned you either did it on a voice message to me on WhatsApp, or we did do it in a previous cast.
I think I might have just left you a voice message because this has been going since 2 years ago, actually, almost exactly. They signed an agreement in July 2023, Renault Group and Geely. And then last year, this new venture, which is creating joint venture to create engines, internal combustion engines, and related systems. But the press release, and I've had this noted down ever since I saw it last year, because the name of the company is HORSE, but they insist on writing in capital letters. So it's Horse Powertrain Limited, and Powertrain Limited is just in normal capitals for the first letter, lowercase for the rest, but Horse in capitals.
That's too much.
And it's too much. It goes on throughout the entire press release, so it just sounds like someone's randomly shouting,
or I'm digging you in the ribs while you're doing a presentation.
Yes, exactly. Ow! Why are you doing that? But yeah, so it just goes on. Thanks for this project. Both Renault Group and Geely will benefit from the immediate scale effect and market coverage. Supported by the transfer of intellectual property of Renault Group and Geely. Horse is now fully autonomous in developing future powertrains. Horse will supply multiple industrial customers, including Renault Group, Geely, also Volvo Cars, Proton, Nissan and Mitsubishi Motors Company. From day one of its establishment, Horse is the worldwide leader. It's just like, stop shouting.
It's too much.
Anyway, Caterham, not initially for their road cars, but, they do the Caterham Academy every year.
Yeah, one of the most fun things I've ever done, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
They were using 1.6-litre Fodes engines, the Sigma.
That's right.
Ford doesn't make those anymore and can't supply them to Caterham. So Caterham bought a stockpile of Sigma engine blocks and parts and have been building them up, but they're about to run out. So they've been on the hunt for a new engine.
Let me guess. Horse have come up trumps.
It's interesting because they have. Now, in Matt's story for Autocar, he has very wisely decided not to capitalise Horse because it's too much. But does say that, the reason, and this is according to the boss of Caterham, in fact, that they searched high and low, they alighted on Horse because, and I'm quoting now, they are looking to sell engines. So
I wonder if they're any good.
Well, Matt sort of cautiously says it's all right. I think reading between the lines, it's turbocharged, so it naturally sort of has the kind of characteristics you get from a turbo engine. So there's no need to rev it out because it's sort of done all its good work before the red line. Yeah, but it's a 1.3 litre 4 with a sort of gentle turbo on it. A mild turbo, if you like, made in Spain, and it's already used in the Megane and the Qashqai and the Mercedes A-Class. So it's, I guess, what you would call a well-proven engine. Yeah, and it can be in outputs of 115 to as much as 160 horsepower.
See, I think one of the best names for an engined appliance brand names is Wheel Horse. I might have talked about, they're my favourite type of ride-on lawn tractor.
Wheel Horse?
Yeah, I think they're now owned by a company called Toro, but they used to be just called Wheel Horse. And they've got a very simple logo, which is basically a wheel with a horse's head coming out of it, I think. And I really like the old school Wheel Horse. And a colleague of mine who I use to do behind-the-scenes analytics and stuff on the Late Break Show, he races in endurance on ride-on lawnmowers, and he says the Wheel Horse is the weapon to beat.
Really?
Apparently they have a very good chassis, strong, and also if you get a short wheelbase Wheel Horse, I think it's a short wheelbase, that's the one that everyone wants. Who needs Lola or Delara when you've got a Wheel Horse? So yeah, I wish Horse just bought Wheel Horse, or thought of another name that goes with horse rather than just calling it Horse.
Yeah, it's weird. I've been meaning to mention this for a while, but yeah, Horse in capitals is a bit. It's just. I don't know. It's an interesting name, and also I presume have they trademarked it? Could you trademark the word horse?
No.
I suppose you could specifically for automotive applications, perhaps, but it's weird that no one else has. It almost feels like Horse would be quite a good name for a very rugged, simple off-roader.
Yeah, it would actually, wouldn't it? Because you've got Mule, you've got the Kawasaki Mule, which is the UTV type farm vehicle.
Yeah, and then obviously there's the Bronco,
of course,
Mustang as well in sports cars, but yeah, just Horse. It's sort of no nonsense, isn't it?
The problem is we've said Horse too many times in short succession, and it's one of those words that starts to sound wrong after a while.
Yes.
And written down, it doesn't look right if you stare at it for too long.
We'd go to rent a horse, completely meaningless.
Anyway, we need to move on from horses.
I was just going to say this Caterham is, like I said, it's the Academy cars for now. But in Matt's article, he sort of suggests they're not entering into an engine supply deal just for a handful of engines for a race series every year. So I think probably at some point this engine will go into the road-going Caterhams. It makes 130 horsepower in the application here, and it has a torque plateau just under 130 pounds-feet from 2,000 to 5,500 revs. So anyway, this all sounds good. The interesting bit for me was that the engine obviously comes from Horse, but the ECU will be Caterham's own with their programming, because according to Caterham, if you just take the OEM ECU, it's got lots of functionality in it that is irrelevant to a Caterham. And if you start trying to delete that in the programming, it all gets a bit messy. So it's easier just to do their own.
Didn't Prince talk about a horse in Sign of the Times?
Last September, my cousin tried reefer for the very first time. Now he's doing horse. It's June. So it's a bloody great lyric, isn't it? It's the way he does "It's June," like just that's how quickly things have gone downhill for him.
But is he just turned into a drivetrain engineer after smoking weed?
No, so he means he had a bifter, and then he went, "Hey, you know what I should do? I should go and work for a Renault Group Geely joint venture making engines."
Yeah, and
now
Prince
he's working for Horse. It's June.
But Prince took that as a bad thing, going, no. Yeah. You started off smoking cannabis, and now you're a drivetrain engineer. That's just too much of a progression. Come on.
Sign of the Times is one of those songs. It's actually Sign O' the Times, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
See also Sweet Child, Oh Mine. And I never quite understood why.
Well, it's funny that Sign of the it makes it sound very medieval almost.
Yes. Prithee, sirrah, 'tis a sign o' the times.
Bit of a town crier spec in imagery conjuring up in my mind. But this Renault 5 that I've been tooling around in now for several months, there is, when you first switch it on, which you have to put your foot on the brake and press the on button on the dash, as soon as you do that and knock it into either reverse or drive or whatever, it actually makes a little kind of plinky-plonky synth sound, which sounds like the very, very beginning of Sign of the Times. Dun-dun-dun, 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 bam-ba-bam-bow. You know that bit? And every single time I drive it, all I'm thinking about is Sign of the Times off of Prince. And luckily, I like that track, but if I didn't, it would be really annoying.
Like a lot of Prince's best stuff, it's sort of simple and complicated at the same time. Yes.
I think if I had a clock radio and I wanted to be woken up by a song that wouldn't infuriate me, I think Sign of the Times might be a good one to wake up to. It's not too in your face. It's quite pleasant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, completely irrelevantly, wanted to talk about...
No shit.
I wanted to... Welcome to this podcast. I wanted to talk about Harry Metcalf. He's been harvesting, I think, or trying to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the past, we've talked about the possibility of Harry maybe taking on a 24-hour garage where he was selling Twixes to stoners. You might remember
that's right, yes.
But prior to that, maybe having a festival of inappropriately, terribly built flying machines on the farm. But obviously, he's been trying to harvest. So I'm thinking, I read his Instagram about the fact that he's got a broken combine harvester, and I've noticed that combine harvesters are the most expensive, I think, machine on a farm.
Yes,
and seemingly the most complicated and least reliable. I don't think us humans have cracked the design of a combine.
Well, it's sort of like photocopiers and printers, isn't it? You feel like they somehow should be better by now, but it's probably too late for them because they're on the wane.
It's too late.
Combines, though, we still need combines. It's true. Is it because they're only like cars or any mechanical thing where they don't like not being used, but inherently the combine only gets used for one short period a year?
Precisely. And when it's not being used, even if you dry store it, which most people do, it gets eaten. by rodents.
Yes.
This is an issue.
Yes.
And that's what I messaged Harry, and I went, what the hell? What's it about combine harvesters? There seem to be a fundamentally fragile, flawed design. And they always get eaten by mice. And it's true. He says it's impossible to fully remove all the harvested crop from every auger or grain tank or elevator. So there's always a food source within it, and the rodents know that. So they do tend to get damaged by rodents. And these things are bloody expensive.
The other thing they do is catch fire.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yes.
I've seen the aftermath of a combine fire not far from here in Somerset. I was just driving along this time last year, I think it was, and came around a corner and I could see two fire engines in a field just by the road, and then just beyond them was the burnt out shell of a combine. It was like, geez,
it's quite scary.
Scary, yeah. And I mentioned this to someone I know who works in the farming world, and they went, oh yeah, the bloody combines are forever catching fire. And I can't remember why. They explained part of why. I think it's just, obviously there's a lot of dryness. If it's been a dry summer, which it has this year, there's just a lot of dry material around, and a hot combine because it's constantly running, and it's a bit of a flashpoint.
Well, I think in the same vein as Harry inviting people to just create their own flying machines with no regard for safety.
We should make clear for people who haven't seen that old Smith and Sniff video from 6-7 years ago.
It's got to be years ago.
This was something that we thought of. Harry has not actually engaged with this or run with the idea yet. We live in hope.
We hope that one day maybe we could collaborate and let people descend on his farm with some really dangerous engined things.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm thinking Harry's home-built harvesting. I think that Harry needs to just go, right, guys, a new combine is 400 and something thousand pounds, and that's just silly. So I've come up with my own idea. I've decided to run it off a Land Rover Discovery 3. With a series of universal joints and flails and sieves you know those Australian road trains, which is a truck with a trailer with a trailer with a trailer with a trailer.
Oh God, yeah.
It's kind of like that, but they're all linked with universal joints, so things can all move. It's like the Welcome to the House of Fun at the fun fair, where there's just moving floors and silly things that you trip up on, and it's kind of like that, but it all fundamentally runs off a fairly tired Discovery 3.
Yeah.
So he has had an engineer put proper bearings into the engine, so the engine isn't going to shit itself under load.
Yes.
That's safe.
But there are other issues. But the good thing is that when it's not harvest season, he can use the tired Discovery 3 to get around.
Yes. Exactly that. It's the same principle as a caravan. So he's called it the Combine van.
The Carabine. Anyway, we can workshop this one later.
We can work, yeah. So exactly that. It gets parked in the barn all year round until it's really needed for 4 weeks. But in that time, he gets to still use his treasured, tired Discovery 3. But yeah, he's put the word out to other farmers so they can tender. A bit like when, I suppose, the Willys Jeep was invented during the World War.
Yeah.
And everyone got together. So I think he's going to arrange a secret gathering, like when cartels all combine after dark and they talk about strategic moves. I think they're all going to do this with home-built combine alternatives. And the only outsider that's welcomed is a St John's ambulance, just in case. You never know.
Right. Yeah.
And I just can't wait for this to happen, because I think there's going to be some fairly dangerous machines, but they could also open the doors for some really ingenious thoughts and designs. So we'll see. We'll see. So home-built harvesting, what are your thoughts?
I like it. I think it's, it could revolutionise farming, and if anyone is going to sort of do this, it should be Harry, because he can publicise it through his channels and get real traction. Unlike the Discovery, which unfortunately on a slightly sloped field is have real trouble, because when stubble gets really sort of sleek and slippery, doesn't it?
Yes,
and it can be very hard to get traction on.
Well, and also Harry's decided to run his Discovery 3 during harvest time on iron wheels, like those very, very old traction engines and things. They've pretty much just got iron wheels.
Yeah.
With grooves in.
Well, but that's fine. But then he remembers he's got to pop down to Burford to pick up some sandwiches for his harvest crew. And
oh, gosh.
He's got to take the disco because nothing else is free.
Yeah.
Well.
And he goes around his favourite corners.
Ride. Yeah, God.
It's on his favourite road. And aside from the deafening iron on asphalt noise.
God, the noise. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Serious.
What a horrible sound that would be.
Yeah.
Anyway, the rest of this is a great idea.
I think so too.
You should probably just get on with it, Harry.
Yeah.
Well, the harvest's probably almost done now. I don't know. They've been going hell for leather around this neck of the woods. I know that. But next year, he's got a whole year now, pretty much, to work up to this.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And who knows, maybe Mr. Clarkson could get involved or rope someone that knows what they're doing engineering-wise.
He's always looking for, farming innovations and new angles. So
Isn't he?
Isn't he? So changing the subject, but I just want to ask you, has that Volvo 240 finally gone from your office?
Yes, it has. Well, funny you should ask. Yeah, it's been, bless it, it's been there for a while. It's not mine.
No, have we talked about it before? We've certainly. I think people have seen pictures that are taken at your office, which is not your home, and you don't own a lake, as you keep having to point out.
I wish.
But your office, the farm upon which your office is based, your mate left his red Volvo 240 GLT for a year now. So it's been in the back of photos and things, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and lots of people have got giddy about it. And to be honest, I should probably, if I was a proper professional content maker, I should have just bought it because I think it's more popular than all my cars. But hey, I haven't bought it, and it's gone back to Simon in Essex, but it will be for sale soon. I think he's going to do some remedial work on it, and it will be for sale soon. And it is, in his words, in resale red, which apparently is the colour everyone wants for a Volvo 240. I didn't know this, but
well, particularly those GLTs, they look good in that colour because they've got the alloys and the black bits. And
I have thought about buying it, but I haven't bought it.
The reason I bring this up is because obviously I was at your office last week ahead of Festival of the Unexceptional, and I saw the Volvo. Which I've seen once before, but I don't know. It felt like something had changed. I found myself drawn to it, and particularly after I opened the driver's door, I didn't realise it had leather, sort of button-back leather, which is appealing in itself.
It is button, isn't it? It is buttony.
But then I shut the driver's door, and the door shut sound was exquisite.
It was
really good. Yeah, very. I think unique to that car. It's a hefty, slammy, nice, reassuring. It just sounds good. Yeah. And I found myself actually looking for 240s for sale online when I got home after the photo, and I was like, I used to hate Volvo 240s. And now I find myself thinking,
Well, they've got a real younger following, and although I've sort of weather vaned between thinking, do I ever want one? No. But they are great pieces of engineering. They're a very dependable car. And I've come to the conclusion that I think I will only ever own one if I buy it from a Swedish tuner or a Norwegian tuner. I don't mean a fish. I mean someone that's obviously very good at tuning engines and things. Because I think when they've got a Volvo with a big turbo on it and they've been set up right and they're breathing some power, I think I'm quite attracted to them. That juxtaposition between sensible frumpy body with serious firepower, I'm like, yes, count me in. So that might happen. That might happen one day.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's weird how the cars can sort of evolve in terms of their sort of, their appeal over time, which is obviously personal, but yeah, clearly there is a young crowd, particularly in Scandinavia, that just loves those.
Yeah.
I said to you when I was at your office that my wife and I are watching that Penguin series at the moment. Which is what's his name? Colin Farrell, but obviously doesn't look anything like Colin Farrell. He's in all of the penguin makeup that he wore in one of those Batman movies, and he's got. In the city, in Gotham, he's got a Maserati Ghibli with a sort of body kit, and it's purple with gold wheels, and it's a bit... Ugh. And but then when he goes out to whatever the Gotham equivalent of New Jersey is to see his mother, he gets the train and then picks up a Volvo 240 wagon that he leaves at the station.
It's great.
And it's got some iffy wheels on it, but it is otherwise just a dark-coloured, very stock-looking 240 estate. And we were watching the show, the first time the 240 is revealed, and he goes out to see his ma, and then just out of nowhere, my wife went, "Which of his cars would you rather have?" And I went, "The Volvo," and she went, "Yeah, I thought so."
Totally.
And I didn't even have to think about it. It's just like, by a mile.
The only thing that's really ever stopped me from buying a 240 is that whenever I've been at that purchase crossroads, I've always gone for a Mercedes 123. And at the time, we're talking 20 years ago or so, when both of those cars were exceptionally cheap. And of course, they made practical but slow saloons estates. You could get them as a coupe. And I have had a 262. You probably remember, I've actually owned two 262s, like a total prick. So I think if I ever went again, having had at least 3 123s, would I go 240 this time? I don't know. I just don't know.
I forgot to add an extra thing that sort of cemented my brief online search for 240s, was that a friend of ours, hi Tom, was at Photo. And he went there in another mate's 240 saloon that he'd borrowed just for the occasion. And he said afterwards, I asked him how it was. He said, "I've never driven a 240 before, but I loved it. It reminded me of a Bentley Arnage without the pomp. You just sit back and relax rather than stress about driving fast." And I thought, that's fantastic. An Arnage without the pomp.
I do like Arnage without the pomp. It is. I think it's just one of those things where they're all slow. I think pretty much all Volvo 240s are just slow and thirsty.
Yeah.
So you just have to accept that. But they are cool. I actually think they make a good EV.
I think that's a classic example of a car where the internal combustion engine is not all that. It's sort of, it's not the point, Citroen DS syndrome.
Yeah.
The overall vibe of the car and the look and the delightful door shuts on the Volvo are sort of what you're there for. So yes, maybe
it is the delightful
a nice
door shuts, yeah.
A hearty but not too powerful electric motor and a decent battery, and you would still get so much of what makes that car appealing, and you're losing one of the weaker links in favour of smoothness and quietness and all the rest of it. No, I could see that.
Agree.
Look, we should wrap this up because you've got to go. But
yeah, for sure.
Before we go, yeah, for sure we push off. Before we go, 3 things to tell you. The first is that Jonny's engaged in an unusual project to log the precise number of times the lead singer is in shot in early Marillion videos under the working title Fish Counter. If that's not to your taste, then there is, of course, the Late Break Show. What's being served up there at the moment?
Can I have one of those nightclub bouncer clickers? Because I've never owned one of those. I'd quite like
I know.
A
Why are they
clicker.
appealing?
I don't know.
I've never owned one. I'd really like one, but to do what with, I don't know.
It predates the fidget spinner by about 4 decades.
Yes, it does. They're fidget spinners.
Yeah. So, Late Break Show. Guys, listen. There's a video that went out at the back end of last week, which if you haven't seen, that involves me driving to a secret, not so secret supercar event in an exceptionally small Ferrari. Little Ferrari. And that was a fun observational day. And then the video that's just freshly baked and has gone out should be the Forwarder Supervan. Supervan 1 is back. Thought to have disappeared, thought to have been killed / scrapped / stolen / I don't know, exported under a different name with a hood over its face because it's done bad things. Not so. This guy has not owned Supervan once, he's owned it twice and spent about 25 years bringing it back. So this is the GT40 V8 engine, original Godfather Supervan. And you were there on the same day when Ford gave me a special opportunity to go to some track at Dunsfold that may or may not be famous.
And then we saw it as well at Goodwood Festival of Speed later that week, didn't we? And featured in one of our videos, and lots of people who listen to this podcast said, why were you not saying Ford and Transit in the correct way? And it's like, I don't know. I think we chickened out because we thought that the Goodwood audience may not actually know any of these in-jokes and it would just sound deranged. But
also, we'd have to say Ford and Transit quite a lot of times in a 5-minute space and we'd be tired.
Well, you'd get a neck injury, wouldn't you?
Oh, gosh, yeah, you absolutely would. So, go and watch Supervan 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4.2 all together at the old Top Gear Dunsfold track, and me just pointing and talking and doing a bit of driving as well on that side of things. Yeah.
Second thing I've got to tell you is I have various books out. One of them is Steel Flies, the spoof Cold War thriller by fictional car journalist Roy Lanchester. If you're going to sit by a pool in the next month or so, why not take it with you or get it on a device? You can buy it as a paperback or an ebook from Amazon. And the third thing I want to tell you is that the high five was only invented in 1977.
Bloody hell. Same year as I Feel Loved by Donna Summer. No connection, I'm sure.
What a year.
Yeah.
So this is claimed that no one had really thought to do the high five until Glenn Burke, outfielder with the Los Angeles Dodgers, did it during a game against the Houston Astros on October the 2nd, 1977.
That's really, what a great fact.
Yeah, he ran towards the home plate, raised his hand to greet a teammate who just rounded the bases after getting a home run. So Burke's teammate, Dusty Baker, says his hand was up in the air and he was arching way back. So I reached up and hit his hand. It just seemed like the thing to do. And that was the first high five recorded in history. Well,
and the fourth thing I probably should tell you is that after Festival of the Unexceptional, we ended up going out and drinking quite a lot of wine. And we drank a bottle of wine which was orange-flavoured rosé. I've kept the bottle because it's an interesting bottle. But I just want the sentence that describes the wine on the label at the front says, a smooth, fruit-driven wine with notes of candied citrus fruits and quince. I like the fact it's fruit-driven, and I wanted to share that with this audience.
Everything we do is driven by fruit, as Brian May once said. And on that slightly strange note, let's bring this to a close. Looking forward to seeing some of you this Saturday at Pistonheads Annual Service. Remember, you can get tickets still and a 10% discount with the code SAS10. Yeah. You'll hear what we've got up to next Monday. There'll be a lot of sort on Friday. Until then, goodbye.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Bye.
So you've enjoyed this podcast, but you've had a thought. Is there a way here today that you could show support? Well, you could join our Patreon. What wonders that it brings. Early shows and extra notes on that side of things. You could buy our merchandise. We've mugs and hats but still no ties. One day we will make those pies, but in the meantime, guys, hey guys, like and subscribe, and maybe leave a nice review. Like and subscribe, we know you know just what to do. Like and subscribe, we don't want to take the piss. Like and subscribe, but we were told to ask for this. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
dun 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 dun.